Welcome everyone to part 16 of the web development in Python with Django. User registration and authentication are crucial parts of any web application, but an integral part of it is changing passwords and password recovery. To keep users protected and keep the communication within the website owner and the user, the complete emailing process must be integrated into the system. So in this part, we'll continue to cover how to complete email functionality into the Django web server to allow users to change and restore their passwords. Usually, when a user creates or owns an account in our website application, we might want to send them an email in many situations. So several of them are when they successfully create and confirms their account, they make a request to reset a password, some significant or suspicious activity is tracked on their account, send and receive the communication message, send the two-factor authentication code if one is enabled for the user, and for any other reason you need to communicate with the user. So this tutorial will consist of two parts. The first will be a simple password change, and the second will be when a user forgets his password and wants to recover it. It's important to complete the previous tutorial part to enable continue on this one, because in the previous part we used a lot of code to send an email and how to configure our email server in our Django site. So you must have the previous part completed and the code should be working. So if you haven't done this yet, go back to my previous tutorial, finish it, and then continue on this part. So, okay, let's continue. Same as before, mostly each of the new feature requires a new link. So I already have here created a new account to test this tutorial functionality. I call it test2, and here I have my own legged email, so I'll use it. So I go back to my code and we begin by creating a new URL for our password reset or change link. So we head to our user application and to our URLs. So we head to our users, URLs, and here I already have created these new URLs, but already have commented them for you. So I'll comment this password change URL at first, and I'll copy this name from here. This URL will be accessed from the user profile, so we need to add it there. So we head to our user profiles, templates, and etc. And here to users profile, and here I'll changing this link on the line 44 to a Django link, and it will be like that. I save it. This URL is targeting the password change function. So we need to create this one in our views also. So I go to my views and I already have this several functions, but I have commented them here. We'll continue to develop on them. So I'll uncomment them, and here is a set password form that we use. But we don't have this form implemented yet. Keep attention that we are using the login required decorator to guarantee that only logged in users will be able to change the password. So we might see that this function is targeting set password form and password reset confirm HTML templates that we don't have yet. So let's begin by creating this new form. We'll import it from the forms. So I'll add the import here at the top. I go back to my forms. I go somewhere to the bottom and I'll create a new form here. I'll use this one. I'll copy it here. We don't need this email stuff and etc. We'll need modals, but that doesn't matter right now. We don't need this. And here it will be a new password 1, and here will be new password 2. And here it will be a set password form. I don't need this anymore. And here also will be a set password form. It's pretty simple form that inherits everything from Django default set password form that I'm importing from here. Sorry. This way it would be easier to make any modifications in the future if we would like to. So because we are sure that only authenticated users will be able to access this, we don't need to ask what is the original password of the user. The final step left here is to create a template for our password reset form. So we head back to our templates and we have here password reset confirm that already created it before. This form will ask the user to type a new password twice and submit the form. And yeah, that's only a form that I display as crispy form, and that's it. And I think if I press save, we refresh our server. I'll check. I go back to my views. Right now, in this situation, it already should be working. So let's go back to our website and hit refresh. Here is a change password. If we click on this link, everything works. And if I'll try to set a new password, nothing will happen. But anyway, the form works. So now we need to complete the view function to save new password into our database. So let's head back to our code, to our view. So here I have a user, but as you know, we need a request post method to do any changes into the database. So I type here request post is equal post. We do something here. So what we do is we need to get this form as we get with our get method. So I copy this, and here will be our request post dot post. So we get here a form, and as always, we check if form is valid, right? And if it is valid, we save it on our database. And in this case, we need to have a success message. So we add a success message, success, and here is as always a request, and we type here your password has been changed. And now we do a return redirect to a home page. Now we do a to login. That's right. So the user will be asked to do a login again into this account. And here, as before, we need some kind of error message. So right now I go somewhere to the top, and here I copy the error message that will print us whatever wrong is here. So I hit save. It should reload the page. Here everything is pretty simple. We check if the password in the form meets the Django password requirements, and if password 1 and password 2 were typed the same. If so, changes will be saved into the database, and the user will be redirected back to the login page to sign in with a new password. So let's give it a try. I go to my website, I hit here refresh, and type a new password, so here. And if I press reset password, nothing happened. Okay, test. I go back here again, add a breakpoint here. Okay, and I go back to my website and I type password, and here I type another password and I press reset password. Let's see where I go with it. Oh yeah, I made a mistake here. It should be request method equal to post. And if I click refresh, everything should be fine. And let's go to check whether it works or not. If I type my password and I type it again, I click reset password, and your pass has been changed. That's cool. So let's try to log in with a new password, and I'm not a robot. Log in, click, great, it works. So this was the first part of this tutorial. It was pretty easy and it didn't require any huge changes into our code. This was the simple part, where we're changing the login in user password. Now it will be way more complicated because we'll write a function to recover the password of the user who is not logged in. This will involve the email stuff we implemented in the previous tutorial. If you haven't checked it yet, do it first. So here will be two tiny parts where the user request for a password reset and where a user performs password change after request. We'll begin with URLs, same as before. So I go to my code, I open my URLs, and here I already have two new URLs. So I'll uncomment them. Usually we add password reset URL on the login page. So we'll do also the same stuff. So I'll uncomment these two lines. Now we need to go back to my login page template. I open it here. I go to line 21, and here I'll need to change this link to URL and it will be password reset, right? And I close this. Great, I go back to my URLs and it tells me that we don't have such a view functions, password reset, and so on. We are sure that all the users on our website are with a verified email address. So in my opinion, that's the best way to recover a forgotten password. So we need to create a new form where we'll ask the users to type an email of the user for which we want to recover the password. We head to our Django users templates and create a new template password reset that I already have here. Here we simply ask the user to type an email and submit it. But we don't have a form for this template. So on the next step we'll do this. As you can see, that's pretty simple. So next we go to my forms, the same as before I did for set password form, and I copy this one, and here I'll create a password reset form. And this is also from the built-in Django stuff. So I copy this, I go to top, I import this from forms, password reset form, and here it will be slightly different. It won't have any meta because we'll use the default one, but instead we'll use it with captcha authentication as we did here. So I copied this stuff and I removed username and password, and here we have the reCAPTCHA field right now, and I inherit with SAPA password reset form. Okay, let's save it, and now we need to import this from in our views. So I go back to my views to the top and I import this from my forms. Password reset form. Let's go to the bottom, and here I already have these two functions. I comment them. Nice. We'll come to password reset confirm function a little later. So the idea here is that the user types his email address and our Django server sends him a unique URL that the user must use to reset his password. Here we'll use some code from the previous tutorial where we were sending a unique URL when the user registers and is asked to confirm his email. So before that, let's check whether our form works where we are requesting for password reset. So I go back to my website here and I need to log out here, and I press log out. I log out, everything cool, and now we are press login, and here is a forgot password field that we enabled just a moment ago. So I click it on forgot password and everything works. We are asked to type the email and there is a captcha to protect us from the bots or crawlers that might be guessing the emails of many users. So cool. And if I'll type my email here, nothing will happen. But let's write the logic to enable this functionality. So let's head back to my views. So same as before, I start my code with a request post question. So I copy this. If we request this post, we use the form and this one form, and here will be a request post. Request post, and we ask if form is valid. We do something here, right? So we need to get the user email from the form, and it will be equal form clean data, and here will be an email. And next we need to find whether the user with this email exists in our database. To do so, we'll need to do an additional import. So I go to the top here somewhere and I'll import from Django database models query utils. I import cool. That's a specific function that you might read online. And I go to the bottom, and here I'm checking whether our user exists. So I type associated user, and whether it's get user model, objects, filter, and here I use Q and email equal to user email. User email, and I grab the first element of it. And if associated user was found, we do something. Otherwise, we use our redirect to the home page. That's cool. So what we do if we find the associated user? You remember in previous tutorial we were sending an email. So that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. So we'll type a subject that will be equal to password set to a request and message. We'll copy this from our previous tutorial where it was message here, message equal to render to string and etc. Let's copy this. Oh, I can copy more. Message, I go to the bottom. And here I paste this and I increment it here. So right now our message will be equal to template reset password. Right, and here will be associated user, not a username anymore. Next will be the same here. Here will be associated user primary key, and next here will also be associated user, and here protocol will be the same, and here will be email message. So it will be a subject, mail subject, message, and to email it will be associated user email. And if email sent, here will be a message success. And here will be a request, and this will be a pretty long message. So I'll copy it from other part, and now else we use a message error. Where is a request, and here will be a problem sending reset password email. And here might be anything. Oh, sorry, I forgot these. Bold, and here might be some kind of information as server problem, but usually it would be best to save something into the logs so we could know that some user received a problem and we couldn't debug it and whatsoever. So here right now we need a success message, so copy it from other place and paste it here. And yep, this will be the message. I can increment it here. It's cool. And at the end, here we need some kind of error that we used in our captcha and in other places. So here is the best one. I use this one, else, and I go to top, bottom here, I paste it. So if request, method, and etc. But we don't need else here, actually. And we do this message after return redirect homepage. Cool, here. And after that, we simply call this password reset form. And we use the password reset. And I have to mention, I'm not getting deep line by line into the code. The idea here is to check whether the user exists in the database with a given email. If so, send him an email with a unique link to a reset password. And if the email is successfully sent, we message that we emailed instructions to a reset password. We are not telling if the email is right or not, in case someone tries to guess the email for many attempts. But the same as before, while registering a new account, we were using a template to construct our mail. It's not an exception now. So I created already this email that we are trying to access, template reset password. And if I open it, you can see it here. That's not a magic, so simply read it, copy, and use whatever you want. So I go back to my views and I click save my stuff. And if I go back to my website, I hit refresh, continue, reset password, and I'll type my email. I'm not a robot, and if I type send email, okay, you don't have an object. Oh, it should be objects, not a single object. Okay, objects, filter, we go back to my website, password reset, and I type my email again, solve my captcha, send email. It's loading something. Okay, no success attribute. It's something wrong here. If I go to messages, oh, it's messages, success. Cool, let's go back to my website, password reset, and I type my email. I'm not a robot, send email. It's loading, and yep, we received the success message as I was expecting. It tells me that we have emailed you instructions for setting your password if an account exists with an email, and etc, etc. So let's go to my email. I hit refresh, and nice, we received an email to recover a password. If I click on it, we receive this email where we can see this unique ID in our link. But this link doesn't work yet. We need to complete our password reset confirm function to benefit from this link. This function will be very similar to one we used in the previous tutorial, as I said, where registered users had to click on a link to confirm their registration into our web server. So if I would click, this doesn't work, doesn't do anything. So I can close this, and if we go back to our code, we need to complete this kind of function. So this will be very similar to what we already did. I go somewhere here, we use a part of this code. I can copy all of this activation stuff. I go to the bottom, and here I paste this. So we get a user model, and we check whether the primary key, we decode it, and we check whether the user exists on our database or not. And here we check if the user exists and the token is valid, we do something else here. So we check if request post is equal to post, and if it is, we need to call the form. Form will be equal to set password form that I already imported, and here will be a user and request.post. And we check if form is valid, and the same as all the times, and if it is valid, we use form save. Form save, we remove this, we don't need this, okay. Now we need the success message for this form, so I remove this a little, and I type, instead of this message, I type that your password has been set. You may go ahead and bold text, log in, close bold text here, and type now. And we of course need to have, we of course need to have some else stuff here, and else is for errors. And I go to my other function, I copy this error and paste it here. Right. Now we here had a post request, and we need also a form for a post get. So here will be password, and it will be a little different. We use only a user here, and here we'll use the same stuff: return and not a redirect, render, and here will be a request. Now it will be password set confirm HTML template, and here will be a form that is equal to form. And else link is expired. Link is expired, and now we need another message, messages error, and here I'll type request something went wrong, redirecting back to homepage. That's cool. Now, instead of saving our user in the database, when clicking on the link, we'll redirect the user to the password changing template. And after successfully changing the password, the user is redirected to homepage. Let's click on the link on our email, and let's see if our code works as expected. I open it, I click on the link. Password reset confirm works. It linked me correctly to a new template. So if I type my new password here, reset password, okay, that didn't work. So let's go back to here where we will stop it to come. I click again on the link and it should come here, right? Oh, I see, I did this mistake again. So it should be method. Oh shit, I hate these mistakes. I refresh, I remove this, and I go back to my website, and I don't need this, I click on the link, I type my new password, and I click reset password, and your password has been set. You might go ahead and log in now. That's cool. It's cool. And redirect homepage. Okay, I forgot one line. I need to do a return redirect to a homepage. That's nice. And because we are left on the same page after we did a reset, so if I do it again, I click on the same link, I type a new password, and I press reset password. I was redirected back to homepage, and that's cool. It worked. Woo! That's amazing how easy it is, isn't that? So now we are able to log in with our new password. Let's give it a try. I have it test 2, my password, and I press on log in. Cool, it worked. As you can see, now our website has even better protection, and from now on, our website users will be able to recover and change their password if they want to. Now our website has all the basic parts from which you can continue and expand the functionality into the limitless space. If you thought that it's really hard and frustrating to implement such functions to recover user password, I proved you were wrong. Can you believe how far we got with the website from our first introduction tutorial? That's amazing. Still, I believe that you're interested in how to insert images into our articles to make them more informative and attractive, right? So we'll cover this topic in the next tutorial. For now, that's it. And I really hope that this tutorial was really interesting, exciting, and useful for you. If so, don't hesitate to press the like button, share, subscribe my channel, and we'll see more of such tutorials in the future. And thank you again for watching. All the links and files you can find in the video description, and I hope to see you again. See you in the next tutorial.